Okay, hello everyone. Guys, this is day 43. It's this snow day. I want to take a look at this factors cubics by grouping. All right, this is basically the key to the worksheet. I just want to talk about it for a minute. Guys, again, you get a cubic with 4 terms. So you group it into 2 terms and then 2 terms. And then just factor the greatest common factor out of this one and the greatest common factor out of this one. And you can look close. It will automatically, every one of these, will automatically have a binomial that is now a common factor. So you can take that out. I take that out in front. And what's left? 5n squared plus 4. That's it. All right, one of the key things, though, if you look at number 2, again, you get a cubic with 4 terms. I group it into 2 binomials. But guys, if this sign is negative right here, then you have to change this sign right here. All right, because I want you to think of that negative as being distributed amongst those 2 terms. So you have to go ahead and change the second one. All right, because we're grouping that as one binomial here with the -1 in front. All right, so once you do that again, factor out the greatest common factor out of this one, out of this first binomial. It'll always be like k squared or x squared or n squared. Always at first. Again, I'm setting them all up that way. And then take the greatest common factor out of this one. Again, make sure that that's -8. And always look, you will always get this thing right here, where these 2 binomials are the same. That will always happen. Each problem is set up that way. So you factor that common factor out. The common factor now is a binomial. 8x minus 3 is a common factor for this term and this term. Right? So take it out and put it right there. And what's left? 5k squared minus 8. That goes right there. Okay? Again, I'm just going to show, once you kind of get the idea, I'm going to show you each once. You can always stop the video and use this as the key. Again, this one here, we changed the sign again because that's negative. So this -24 becomes +24. Factor the common factor out of each one. We get 5n plus 4. Factor that out then in front. I'm left with 5n squared minus 6 right there. All right, number 4, same thing. I get a cubic with 4 terms. I group it into 2 binomials. That's a negative, so I have to change that sign right there. All right. Factor out the common factor of each of these binomials. And then I get a binomial that is a common factor of these 2 terms. Again, this is one term, and this is one term. Right? There's a negative in between. This is one term, and this is one term. The common factor is 7p plus 4. So take it out. And number 5, again, I'll just show it to you. This has a plus here, so I can keep that sign the same. All right. Common factor is 3r squared. Again, the common factor will always be in something squared, r squared, x squared, the variable squared here. All right, I set it up that way. So the second factor is a quadratic, but it's only 2 terms. Right, it's a little different type. All right, number 6, again, I'm showing you all these. You can stop and look at them then. This is the one you have to change the sign because that's a negative. All right, common factor out of this first binomial, 5r squared. Common factor out of this one is 6. That leaves 3r plus 1 to take out right there. All right, 5r squared minus 6 is this right here. What's left? Number 7 again, change the sign. I'll let you look at it. 16 is the common factor here between 128 and 16. And then the k squared comes out of both. 6 is the common factor here. Don't forget this becomes negative. The second one becomes negative. All right, so k minus 8, take it out. All right, number 8. Again, you got to change the sign because that's a negative. So you got to change that sign to a negative. 14x squared is the common factor out of this one, and 12 is the common factor out of this one. That leaves you with 7x minus 2, which is again a common factor of both of these. So take that out and put it right there. All right, number 9 is a little harder. Again, just start do it the same way. 2 binomials. Take out the common factor of both. And then take out 7m minus 3. What I did is I put that behind this time. So what's left is 16m squared plus 10 right there. But guys, this has another common factor in there, 2. So I just took it out. Because, the directions up here, it says factor completely. So number 9, again, I took that 2 out right there. Because that has a common factor still right there. That's not completely simplified. That last one, same thing. Make it 2 binomials. Change the sign because that's a negative. 25n squared is the common factor of these first two, and 30 is the common factor back here. I factor out the 5n plus 3, and again, this time I put it behind here. That leaves 25n squared minus 30, which again has a common factor of 5. So I took that out of this binomial right here. All right. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks.